Hey, hello.
Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Priscilla, the Queen Maker.
Love that.
So, you say we live...
Wait a minute. I've seen her before. Don't she be on that one dude podcast? I forgot who podcast she be on.
Patriarchy.
Right.
Can you give me the definition of patriarchy?
Yes. Well, the patriarchy is the idea that the system, our system in America, is being run by men, and that women are having to exist under a system that immediately disadvantages them because men are behind it. And I disagree with that pointedly. I think actually we're living in a society where people are being very much influenced socially and politically by women.
Okay, so the denotative definition of patriarchy is father rule, and where positions of government are held majorly by men, where women are largely excluded. So 125 House of Representatives are female, and that's only about 25%.
Right.
And only about 28% make up Senate, and 3.3% of Congress up until this date have ever been women. So by denotative definition, we literally live in a patriarchy.
Yes, so I disagree with that. So I think what this gets to, which is actually an important part of the conversation, is that people always think that where there is disparity, there's somehow inequality. And
Man, if there's patriarchy, they won't even be allowed to even talk back in the home. Come on, man. Saudi Arabia, that's patriarchy. They have it good out here, man. Come on, man. They just try to deny it, trying to hide it. You can't hide it. It's visible to everybody that pay attention to it.
I actually reject that entirely. I think it's just a difference in what we're interested in. I think we're biologically wired, we're interested in different careers, and just because if we looked in the fashion industry and said, oh, well, it's being dominated by women, it wouldn't mean that, okay, well, that means that the fashion industry is a matriarchy and men have no sense. It just means have no ability to communicate how they feel in the fashion industry. I literally think that those numbers show that we're just biologically different. So I actually think politically, women have shown that they have a lot more power than men have. And I'm talking about just in terms of political movements. The most recent I can think of is the Me Too movement, right?
Yeah.
If a bunch of women get together and complain about a man and refer to the patriarchy and scream, generally speaking, and let me know if you agree, the media will celebrate that. If a bunch of men got together and were shrieking and speaking about women, generally speaking,
they'll shut it down.
Would call them all white supremacists and say that we had a misogyny problem and that things were really wrong in society. Women are allowed to be more vocal in general about problems than men are.
Well, let me speak to that. When we're talking about government and media, these are two different things. So under the
they hooked on to each other now. They used to be two different things, not now.
Denotative definition of a patriarchy by the percentages that are occupied in the government, which is majority male, defines us as a patriarchy. Now, what it comes to for capitalism, for marketing purposes and control, for capital and revenue, that is a totally different conversation. But who's making the laws? I don't think that women are the ones voting to have their reproductive rights taken away.
Shoot, you know who making the laws? I mean, I don't know who's making the laws, but I don't think it's anybody that's American. Okay?
Where
that's what I heard.
Have rape, incest, and all of these things excluded to force women to be able to have. I don't think.
I heard they ain't straight either, whoever making the laws. That's what I heard.
Women in government would largely vote against their own interests because it's majority male. Patriarchy.
Okay, I think, love that point. Are women allowed to vote?
Oh, of course they are.
Who's voting that patriarchy and then, out of curiosity?
No, I totally agree. And you want to know why? Because there are so many women who think like you. You submit to the...
They about to put their flags up now that she agreed with her on anything. Is it stuck? Oh, crap.
Idea of men ruling everything, and your ideology is spread across a lot of women who also falsely believe to vote against their own interests just to complain about it in the end. You know, earlier you said that, you know, women would be much more happier working at home, but don't you agree that it's human nature to want things that you don't have? So during the 1950s, which is something that you constantly bring up, you know, it wasn't until 1994 that it was legally illegal to beat your wife. And so what we're dealing with is people.
Hey, if you got to take care of them, can't spare the rod. Hey, Hey, I don't know.
wanting something, and then when they get it, they're not happy with it, and then they have to
I don't believe what she talking about. No,
revert that
nah.
idea for something else. And so what you're saying is that women vote for these things because they have the same mentality as you.
Okay. So you're acknowledging that women have the freedom to vote.
Yes.
And you're saying that women are still existing mentally, even with the freedom to vote.
Speaking of that, I saw do y'all have that one channel called is it called AMC? See? Damn, what's the name of that whole this is one channel. A bunch of old western, black and white, no colored shows be coming on. That's mostly about cowboys and cowboy culture. I could have sworn I seen this one episode. Cowboy dude slapped the brakes off some chick. Her eyes got watery. Her eyes got watery, and she just. And then they hugged after that. I was like, that won't happen today. They're like, hey, hands behind your back, buddy. I ain't saying that's right, but hey, I couldn't believe that. On some black and white show called the Adventures or the story. What was it called? The Adventures of Wells Fargo or some junk. I don't know. I gotta look it up.
Correct.
They are voting men in because we are still victims of...
No, I don't believe in victimhood. I believe in lack of education and lack of knowledge, because one of the things that you also say...
Do you think that it could just be that more men are running for positions of office?
No, not necessarily, because remember, the United States, the average reading comprehension of people in the United States is 6th grade. So we're not dealing with educated people. Lack of education is the cause for what we see in the world. And if we educate the women better, because a nation can rise no higher than its woman, and if she reading and comprehending at a 6th grade level and popping out a lot of kids, because the brokest people in the world pop out the most kids. So if we have those...
What? Nick Cannon? Y'all want to use the exception to the rule? We can too. Nick Cannon.
people voting, of course they're going to vote against their interests, because they're voting for some utopian society that will never exist.
Okay, so that's why you think Kamala lost.
This ain't even about Kamala.
Because you're talking about women. No, but we had an opportunity.
Yeah, go ahead.
We had a male running and we had a female running. And we actually showed that Trump increased the amount of women who voted for him, right? So I'm asking you, do you believe that the reason that happened was because women became less educated during that time?
They've always been less educated. Did you know
Oh, she just dissed. Y'all gonna let her get away with that?
that UNESCO
She
said
dissed y'all.
that 2/3 of the 7
You gonna let me get away with it? Y'all be cursing at me and everything.
7 million illiterate adults is women. Illiterate. And we have 6th grade educated people voting. And guess who? Guess the dominant population?
But that proves the point that Fit always made. Repeal the 19th.
It's white women. And so guess what? Now you have to add a race element into that, which you already know exists. Because we, as black folks, we ain't the dominant people voting people in. Okay? So now when we have to go into white supremacy and feminism, now you have to look at the mind of the people who actually have economic success and what they're voting for, because classism actually matters as well. So I'm sorry, but a lot of people vote based on their feelings and not based on policy.
Pause, guys.
Nah, I mean what? That capitalism. Capital connections. Capital connections. Like my man said on Life. Capital
Sorry,
connections.
you've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your
Thank you for the respectful conversation.
Yeah, I don't know. She was a little bit all over the place, like the rest of them. They can never stick to one point. They ask a question, then they'll talk over the question they asked. What the freak? Let them answer the question. But maybe I watch too much wrestling. That won't fly in a wrestling ring. You would have got flipped, chopped, all that. What they call it, chopped? You got chopped, elbow, drop kick. Other people be like, oh, it's not real. Shoot, people get injured all the time. No injuries real. What are you doing?
Thanks again to Straight Arrow News for partnering with us on this episode. Now, let's get into it.
My next claim is that we live under a matriarchy, not a patriarchy.
We definitely do. Who the freak would deny that? I remember years ago somebody trying to argue with me in the comment section, trying to deny that. I'm like, how do you deny something that's right in your face? Probably was a bot, but that's before I even knew what a bot was. Now we got bots here and there, every freaking where. Not even real people you're talking to.